this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no
Wait a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World. I'm SeptumSin. This is Coda Jake. And we're here to show you what we got. So we got some fun stuff to show off to all of you wonderful people out there in movie land. We're going to try that new format out again, see how it flies around. And, but first, no Gundam. But here's some things that you may enjoy.
Your mother says it's your patience, it's your virtue, but I know better. Underneath that sweater, a beats her heart, excuse my name. I guess your dad thinks he knows the boys will be boys, but he don't know how I feel. No, he don't. It was just one pass, a second look. These 3 words I said, I love you, and I love you. You're a lady, even if your years tell a different story. I wonder, as we look at one another, could I be your man? Cause honey, I think I can. Cause your dad thinks he knows the boys will be boys, but he don't know how I feel. Love is right, and I'm writing the song. It was just one pass, a second look. These 3 words I said, I love you. I said, I love you. 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 Well, tell me, baby, would you? And tell me, baby, well, could you? And tell me, baby, if you'd agree to make a man out of me. Tell me, baby. Tell me, baby. Make a man out of me. Make me see all the things that I need to see, and show me a way to your heart. I wouldn't lie or make you cry, girl. No. I couldn't forget you or make you regret. Tell me, baby. Tell me, baby, can you make a man out of me? Make a man out of me. Make me see all the things that I need to see, and show me a way to your heart. And make a man out of me. Make me see all the things that I need to see. Show me, baby, a way to your heart.
That's a lot of stuff. Always a lot of stuff.
Fair bit.
And this is why we're trying to cut down a little bit. So we're trying to move to stuff that we kind of have as a shared, some of us that we both have more of an interest in, and maybe we can even talk more about it. So we're going to move over to our screen here. Can you see okay?
Give me a moment. Yep.
Good. So, of course, we have our rankings as to what we have here. So, priority is, that's something you must get. It must be yours. Oh, yes. ASAP. So, as soon as you can, you want that bad boy. Yes, please. Those are pretty much the ones that might be considered priority in many senses, but they are not priority as far as you can take the chance on it going out of print if you have to in order to wait for a deal. Curious is stuff that you think, I might want this. I might be willing to look into this. This does pique my interest. Meh. That's, you'd be willing to take it for free. Or somebody were to, give it to you for $1 maybe. I have a couple of those for our pickups, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
And then, of course, hell no. It won't be in our collection no matter what. As we are selecting these, I doubt we're going to have any hell no's. But you never know. I might have, or Jake might have selected one just because of how much we hate this particular film.
Yeah, you know that.
So, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'll have you lead us off. And there we are.
Okay, so first off, we've got a little series called Seven Seeds. From what I understand, I think it's an O&A series, and I think that they are technically 2 seasons. This one is labeled Part 1. It's a Sentai Filmworks release. And it actually kind of looks a little bit interesting. 12-episode series. The meteor strikes, wiped human civilization from the face of the earth. Then even the face itself changed, transforming into something alien and hostile as devastating climactic shifts, global darkness, and unprecedented geologic upheavals reshaped what was once our world. So, good times and all that.
Flesh-eating cockroaches. Ooh.
I know, that sounds pretty fun. I'm sure your wife would love that. This looks like it could be interesting, sort of a post-apocalyptic tale, very sci-fi bent and whatnot. I don't know that I'd heard of it before. Like I said, it was apparently a net series. Looks pretty interesting. It's a Sentai release, which means, as I've noted before, there's an extremely good chance it will one day go on sale very cheaply, and I will probably snap it up if it goes really cheap. Definitely not for $46, but so it's not a priority. But I would definitely say this is a high curious for me.
It's a mid-curious for me. I admit the flesh-eating cockroaches makes it sound entertaining, but I'd have to see more about it and hear more about it before it'll make it further up. But yeah, definitely in the curious end.
Good
you never
times.
know. All right. Hand you up again.
I am.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Remember, you got like twice the number I do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So our first. Oh, this is a Cohen film release. Although I found it on the Kino Lorber site. So, are they affiliated? I had not realized this.
I think they are, because I've seen a lot of them on the Kino Lorber site.
Okay, well that makes sense. So we have the Buster Keaton Collection Volume 4, featuring Go West and College. I've seen College. That's a pretty good one. I don't think I saw Go West. But basically, well, a couple old Buster Keaton classics. I mean, that's really all there is to it. If you know who he is, you know roughly what you're getting into. If you don't, think old school silent physical comedy, but with a little bit of a kind of humorous satirical edge to it. Not quite as pointed in his satire as Chaplin tended to be, but good times. This looks like a pretty good series. I'm still waiting for them to do more Buster Keaton through Criterion, but in the meantime, this is not a bad way to get at least nicely restored Buster Keaton films. So definitely a good pickup if you can get it. I'm going to probably rank this as a curious, mainly because I really want those Criterion editions to come out.
Yeah.
But for what? Then again, these are an essential. I think these are essential to the collection. So
I don't know. They may look good lined up again. 1 through 4, and
I might go yes, please on that because they are kind of essential.
To me, I feel like that Buster Keaton should be a part of most collections. So I would definitely also agree with you. Yes, please, indeed.
All right.
You know what's funny is when you go to my Amazon, because I look up all these things on Amazon, it gets really kind of frustrated about what to recommend to me nowadays. Because I basically is like, so you want
it all.
Everything that comes out.
Really, you want it all.
So this one I've got up here. And this one really has me at a high curious. I'm starting off with my rating here. Almost to a yes, please, because they are releasing better. Back when they were releasing at 6 and 7 volumes a season, it was like, and they were like high cost. Like they were like at Funimation. Well, they're Funimation, so Funimation prices for a volume. But these are not bad price-wise. I mean, you're getting like another 50 episodes for $60. That's not bad.
Yeah. I have noted this one before on our channel as one that I'm curious about. I don't know that I'm like hyper curious, like must have.
It's got a lot of love in the community, that's for sure.
The length of the series is a little bit of a barrier to entry, kind of like another one that's coming up soon. But I agree with you. This packaging is much better than before. I'm definitely going to go curious, like a high curious on this.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that a low curious for me before, and it kind of moved to a high curious, because it was almost a meh the way it was releasing before. And then like I say, it's definitely got to where if it comes down to the right price, I may get it.
Okay.
All right.
So, my turn again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, we have a little movie from, I think it was 2004, 3? I don't remember my dates offhand.
4.
04, okay. So, little old movie called Collateral, which unfortunately probably will go down for most people as an example of politics screwing up the Oscars, where Jamie Foxx did such a good job in this and Ray that everyone wanted him to get nominated for both movies, And so he was up for supporting actor, even though he's the friggin' co-star of the movie. I mean, it's technically a Tom Cruise vehicle, but without Jamie Foxx driving him around in his vehicle, it wouldn't have happened, right? And the two of them do play off each other well. It's one of the few straight villain roles for Cruise. And I thought it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. It was a Michael Mann movie, I believe. Yeah, it was actually one of my favorite Michael Mann movies that I've seen. I don't do much with 4K because I don't have a player. But I will admit, this is a movie that probably would look good in high def.
Yeah.
Probably would sound good in high def. It is a good movie. It is an essential to the collection. I am not pre-ordering it, so I could not call it a priority, but I would definitely mark it yes, please.
To me, see, I don't do the Oscar nominees. I only do the winners.
It didn't win any, did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't win any. I'm curious, but not above it.
Did you see that one?
I don't know if I did or not. That should tell you right there.
Oh. Okay.
But I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. I don't know. Maybe it's the Scientology.
I'm not a huge fan either, but I like it when people who are known for playing heroes and people you're supposed to root for and whatever.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like Training Day, good example.
Training Day, Road to Perdition,
Yeah.
some of those kind of things, yeah.
Well, you get another chance at winning me over.
Okay, this is one called Faith-Based, and I like the tagline, Salvation is Rich. All I know about this is apparently, I guess, a little independent comedy or something along those lines. Per Amazon, Faith-Based is the story of two friends looking for a little direction in life who discover the Christian film industry might just be the get-rich-quick scheme of their dreams. And it's true, I know this, that these films make money hand over fist. For the amount that they put into the budget, some of these are, if you're looking just to make money and you're cynical and that's probably one of the best ways you could do it. And this one, of course, has, the star of your favorite show ever, the co-star, Jason Alexander Seinfeld. You've also got Margaret Cho, David Koechner, and some other folks I'm less familiar with.
It looks like fun.
It does look fun. It does look fun. I like me a good satire. If it leans more into the satire and doesn't take itself too seriously as a comedy,
Yeah,
I think it could be really good.
Looks like it'll come to streaming, so maybe I'll check it out on streaming and then it'll get there.
Right.
So where would you put that?
Definitely a high curious on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely curious. I need to see it before I can really go above. But I could. You never know. Speaking of, Bleach.
Yeah, I like your dude on the cover, though.
Yeah, Urahara is a good character. Set 9, which they've covered more episodes than the previous sets do. I think it's like 20-some episodes. Yeah, like 26 on this. Yeah, 28. And let's see here. I think this might actually be a filler arc season.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I like Bleach well enough, but both Bleach and Naruto had a lot of filler.
Yeah.
And those series would both benefit from dumping the filler. Like maybe creating like a Dragon Ball Kai and just have it go for the whole, since the manga's done, just have it go through the whole manga. They are talking about doing a new Bleach series to finish off the manga, which would be good. But, you could just do it straight, no filler. And I would be on board. I actually don't mind Bleach in concept, though I do feel like after the Visored, it gets like way over the top. And really, the Soul Society arc is all you need. It's like where it hits its peak, in my opinion.
That was the one that they had in volumes 2 and 3, right?
Yep, they ended in volume 3. And that really is the best of the best. I do have all of it, and if you want to see what it is, let me see if I can... I'll switch the camera over so that so y'all can see here. There I am, and let's do this. Alright, so let's take a quick look. So, let's see, that's cased closed. There's bullshit. Bo. So let's see. Alright, you see that over at the top there? It's on the very top row, that white. That like row of white. And it has like a little bit of color in the middle. It's towards the end. That is our Bleach collection. I can see it there more there. That is a lot. That is a lot. So thinning it down is not a bad thing, but when I already invested that much money in it, nah, man. Nah. Not going to upgrade unless somebody's selling them all cheap.
So for Bleach,
Curious for me.
I would like to have the whole show one day, and this is definitely the way to collect it of the options on the table so far. So I will definitely rate it as a curious. It's just not a priority.
Well, that's why it's a curious. It's not, not even wish listed technically. It's just...
Now a definite. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So a definite curiosity coming up next. I'm sure this one has you just ecstatic. Is Fellini's Casanova, which is a late film from Federico Fellini, your favorite director of all time.
Is it on the set?
No, I don't think this was. I don't think this was in the set.
Huh.
I could be wrong, but it's not a bad release if you don't. I finally saw that set in the flesh a few days ago, and it's kind of weird looking. It's like the Godzilla set. It won't fit easily on the shelf, which is unfortunate. But it's not built the same way as the Godzilla set. But anyway, we're talking about the Criterion Fellini set. But this is a Kino Lorber Fellini set. This specifically the one film, Casanova, which I had no idea Fellini directed Donald Sutherland in a movie. That's kind of cool. You've also got Carmen Scarpetta and Cicely Brown, Chesty Morgan, a bunch of random folks there. Scored by Godfather Maestro Nino Rota. I feel like this is something I really want to see. That combination of talent is intriguing to me.
Things.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this very much a high curious. Can't really go higher without seeing it, but and bear in mind, I didn't actually look up the Oscar history on any of these, so there might be some that I should rate higher that I didn't, but I'm going to go high curious on this.
Yeah, I'm curious on it. There is a part of me...
I take it back. The Kino description says that this won the Oscar for costumes. So we both have to call it a high... yes, please.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, I'm not against collecting some Fellini because I do feel like I need to get some of the ones, but I got so many separately on Criterion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm not sure that the set's worth it to me at this point. I think even this one's on Criterion, isn't it?
I don't think it is.
I don't know. There's so many.
Unless it's in that set.
I know Satyricon is. That was the one I'm thinking
yes,
of. Yes,
it is. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. So, you're up next.
All right.
Only on DVD, by the way.
I have been looking for this, and I can't find it. So... You found it, apparently.
Yep. When you type in search on Amazon, type in Madre DVD.
Okay. Because I
Because-
did just about everything else I could think of.
Because it's only available on DVD.
That's kind of stupid. But anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, now I got it. So, Madre, which is by Rodrigo Sorgoyen and stars Marta Nieto. And 10 years have gone by since Elena's 6-year-old son disappeared. The last thing she heard from him was a phone call he gave her saying he was lost on a beach in France and couldn't find his father. Now Elena lives on the same beach and manages a restaurant. She is finally beginning to emerge from this tragic episode when she meets a French teenager who strongly reminds her of her lost son. It's kind of, okay, they describe him, they compare it to Ozon. I've seen several films by Francois Ozon, a very strange director. I am almost certain, I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that this is one of the movies that was in the discussion last year of like really great films of the year. I could be wrong about that. I'm almost sure I did see it cited by some people as a great film. It immediately caught my attention when I saw it on the list here, and I think it is the same one. I am curious. This is one that did make that blip on my radar, and now I am very, very curious about it. Mm-hmm. Without more information, I can't give it a yes, please, but I'll definitely give it that high curious.
I can go with a curious as well.
Okay.
All righty. Mm-hmm. I might actually start putting these in there. I took this one from you mainly so that I would have exactly at least to the half point. Because
you got stuff to say on this too.
Because I'm also familiar, and I've seen this one as well, which is Garden of Words, which is by the creator of Your Name and Weathering with You, two films that you all have heard us talk about quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I have an earlier Blu-ray version of this, but Sentai is doing a re-release of this.
Sentai is going through a large portion of their back catalog and producing English dubs finally, and this is one of several that is getting that.
And it's a very good movie. It's about this teacher and about this student, and the student is basically going through and skipping class, but so is the teacher, and they kind of have this relationship that forms between them. It's a very touching and, Shinkai is all about relationships, and this is no different. And he usually likes to end things on a downer note, with only a slight bit of hope, maybe. And this is somewhat like that. I actually thought that they did a pretty good job with the ending of this, and I did enjoy it as a film overall. I think it's very much a must-see.
And it's also, you must also mention that it's freaking gorgeous.
Oh, it is.
It is a phenomenally illustrated film.
I mean, talk about Weathering with You. They utilize the rain very well in this.
Oh, yeah.
And because of that, I would have to put this, and I'm just going to, when I start out here, I figure I'll just put it out the rating I give, and then you can move it up. You can end up moving it down if you want, but I don't think it will be. I would put this. Go yes, please. See, I'd put this as a yes, please. I don't consider it enough that I would have bought it right away, and definitely since I already own a copy, I'm not, super eager to buy it again. But I do think it's one that should be put on a wish list and watched, as most Sentai films. Though there are a number.
I suppose you don't want to buy it again for that English dub.
There are a number of Sentai films that have gone out of print, though, or series. I didn't realize Akikon went out of print until I was.
I'm not surprised because they only ever did a DVD release, and we know they've been flushing up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but then again, they tend to re-release their stuff. So if there's something that you see of theirs that's out of print, if you're patient, they may very well re-release. If it's popular enough. I don't know if Akikon is popular enough.
Akikon is also not on the same level as this one.
What?
And also, again, this one's short. It's, 40 minutes? Maybe not even that long.
Let's see here.
Might be 30 minutes.
46 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. Not sure I'd pay full $20 for it, but hey, it's still not bad.
No, I probably got it for around 9 or 10. That's probably about right.
We might be moving into a high rating right here.
Speaking of re-releases, this is an interesting thing that I had never heard of. Apparently, a director who very much likes going back to the well again and again and again in terms of recutting his own films is Francis Ford Coppola. And much like Apocalypse Now Redux, and then I guess he did a third cut of the film, apparently he's gone back into The Godfather, and specifically The Godfather Part 3. And he's re-releasing it as this film here, The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. I am deeply intrigued by this. I have never thought Godfather Part 3 was nearly as good as the first two, but I also never hated it as much as a lot of people did. There was so much hate on this movie. It did feel like it was kind of attacked on third part. Certain parts were done differently out of necessity. Certain parts should have been done differently. But it's still a good movie. I'm curious to see where he goes with this new edit. Would I go out of my way to pick it up? I don't know. That's not a bad price for it.
No.
But what I would be tempted to do, because I already have a really nice Godfather 1, 2, and 3 set, would be to wait until they do a complete collection with both cuts of the film and both of the first two films and all the bonus features. Like when Criterion finally gets off their duff and does a Godfather set, that would be...
Especially with the only special feature being an introduction.
Yeah.
On this.
But it's definitely... I would go ahead and say yes, please, just because I do think I will get this eventually, and all parts of The Godfather should be in any collection.
I think I'm in that area too. If y'all were watching, I did add it to my wish list. So it's something that I want to get, but I think I do agree with you. It's something I don't have to rush out to get. It's something I'm going to just keep my eye on. I just want enough to keep my mind knowing that it's out there, and eventually, just like with Apocalypse Now, as you all might have noticed in my pickups, when they get a cheaper collection that has all of it, I probably will then upgrade at that time. Because I like Godfather Part 3 well enough. So, I don't know. Oh, well. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I got another one. I keep forgetting this method. Okay, so next up we have a film called Raining in the Mountain, which, if I recall correctly, I think is from 1979. It's not a recent film. It's from kind of around the 70s or thereabouts. Directed by King Hu. And it's the first time it's been released on Blu-ray in North America. That's what I get here. There are a few bonus features, which is kind of cool. And apparently this was one of the, I guess you could say, one of the classier films to come out in the heyday of action martial arts cinema. Apparently this one hews more toward the Crouching Tiger school versus the Game of Death school, if you will. I don't know that I'd heard of the film before, but Film Movement definitely puts out some interesting stuff, and I am very, very curious about this. I don't know enough to say that it's an essential, but it's certainly a very high curious.
Well, I can go with curious.
Okay.
I don't know enough, and it's a high price tag, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, it's also, again, film movement, that's something that probably will go out of print. It's probably not going to be around for a long time. So a high price tag may be part of the deal.
Maybe.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
It is something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am up. I kind of added this more out of a last second again to help me get up to 8. Because I was kind of like, but, you know, Brandon Cronenberg has been known for a couple of films out there in the world. I'm trying to remember because there were some films that he did that I really liked. Let me see if it has here. This film is basically about this person who uses this technology to possess people as assassination targets. And people were saying it's really good. So, you know, I'm not sure, though. I'm trying to think of what he's done. He's done stuff before that I've liked.
It doesn't say here, does it?
So I'm going to look it up real quick, because it's going to bother me. It's enough that it might make me a little bit more... Okay, so there are several that he's directed. I already saw, like, some stuff here. So let's just look at his director caveats here. Broken Tulips. Let's see here. Antiviral was good. Please speak continuously and describe your experiences as they come to you. Yes, there's a good one there.
It's probably, that title's probably longer than the film.
I swear there was something that was there, but I don't know. Maybe it was because I liked Antiviral, because Antiviral was pretty good. But I don't know. It's got me at a curious level.
Okay. And what do we know about this film, actually? Anything?
What I know about it is essentially, some people are like, it's one of the scariest films out there. I don't know how it can necessarily be scary. It looks like more of a sci-fi thriller where you've got somebody who is using other people's bodies as assassination tools. But...
Well, without more information, I'm going to go with meh.
Alright. Down. See, we can see as it gets dragged down. Alright, back to yours.
Okay, and why do I get all of these instead of a DVD when I look at it? But anyway, next up, we have the Rock Hudson collection coming from Kino Lorber. One of their 3-movie collections that they've been doing quite a few of lately. And this features the films Seminole from 1953, The Golden Blade, also from 1953, and Bengal Brigade from 1954, the latter of which includes Dan O'Herlihy and Michael Ansara and some other folks in it. Bengal Brigade, let's see, I'm trying to think who else is notable in these to me. I don't really know most of those names there.
These don't look like they hold up well today.
Seminole has Lee Marvin in it. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's probably not going to be top flight stuff there. I don't believe any of these have an Oscar history.
Not that I recall.
And, so the middle one has a Fellini connection because Anita Ekberg is in there. If you're a fan of Rock Hudson, this is probably a really good way to get a few of his films. I wouldn't say quite on the cheap, but it depends on if you're patient and get a good sale, they might be. These are nice looking sets, and they look good on the shelf.
Yeah.
Um, I'm curious. Yeah, like you said, they may not hold up today, but I'm definitely curious.
Yeah, I'm not moving it off of that. Like I say, it's interesting, especially that one that shows a guy basically where, it's typical cowboys versus American,
Yeah.
Native Americans. It's yeah. Oh,
Next up, we have one called Canción Sin Nombre, or Song Without a Name.
Also
A film
DVD
by
only.
Melina Leon. It says on the cover, a Kafka-esque thriller. That sounds kind of fun. Based on harrowing true events, Song Without a Name tells the story of Georgina, an indigenous Andean woman whose newborn baby is whisked away moments after its birth in a downtown Lima clinic and never returned. Stonewalled by a Byzantine and indifferent legal system, Georgina approaches journalist Pedro Campas, who uncovers a web of fake clinics and abductions, suggesting a rotting corruption deep within Peruvian society. Etc., etc. It's a debut director from Melina Leon. There's a short film included as a bonus feature, which is always kind of fun. This one apparently got a ton of festival awards. From the artwork and the festival love, it kind of puts me in mind of Roma. And Roma was friggin' awesome. So I'm definitely curious about this one. Very high curious.
Yeah, I am in that curious stage as well. Again, I have to see more about it.
We're very curious this week, aren't we?
We are. We're always curious. But we have a few really high-ranking ones.
Yep. No priorities yet.
And I think we'll get to we'll get to something that's almost a priority. Almost.
Could be.
But like this would be in that area as far as I'm concerned. But this is the Steven Universe complete collection. Now, I was taken aback by this. I didn't think they were going to do it. I thought they were.
I was going to say, isn't this the one that you keep saying it's never going to happen?
Yeah, I was taken aback because they released the first 2 seasons and they went a year with nothing, and I was like, it looks like they're not doing anything. But this one not only includes the whole series, but it also includes the sequel series and the movie.
Oh, good times.
That's a lot.
That is a good. Yeah, that's actually a good package.
So I mean, it is a lot for your money. This is where you can get it the cheapest right now. I think Amazon has $74.99. The Right Stuff is where I originally ordered it from. So let me see here. Steven Universe. Again, it's only on DVD.
Okay.
But
only DVD. Oh.
So it has basically the 160 regular episodes. They're only 15-minute episodes. The 20 future epilogue series, and of course the movie. So this is a big thing. This one has been well known, well loved by many people. Many people also in the LGBTQ community praise this for showing kind of same-sex relationships. I'm not 100%. I mean, I do see some of that as a positive and a normalization, though a lot of the ones that they lured are from a place where all of the beings are of the same gender. So it's kind of, so if you're going to have a relationship, it has to be a same sex. But it also has a lot of classist, basically class struggle stuff, which it's just it starts off as something that I found highly annoying, and then as I went through it, it just got to be more and more intriguing. I'd say if you were to watch this, season 1 is a harder struggle to get through, But once you get into season 2, you are just you're definitely in. To me, it is a priority. If I mean, I had to get the money together. I had to get it. It was just like it was a must. Now you'll probably be dragging this one down a bit, but at least I got this up here for a little bit.
Well, I don't have the love for the series you do, but I've enjoyed it well enough. I'm going to say that there is no way I'm going to be paying that price for it. But I am very, very curious about the show and the movie as well. And that is a good set. That's a good package. I'm annoyed that it's DVD only, but I'll give it a yes, please.
All right. Well, the only way it could be dragged down to curious is if you gave it a meh.
Which is not happening. Yeah.
So that would have been a...
Right.
Like, well, what's going on with it? And then you're like, nah, it wasn't a meh. It was a hell no.
Hell no! No, never mind. So what up? Okay. So we have something coming courtesy Arrow Films called Survivor Ballads, 3 films by Shohei Imamura. And they are specifically the films The Ballad of Narayama, Zigen, and Black Rain. Per the Arrow description, Ballad of Narayama is from 1983, was a Palme d'Or winner at Cannes, and Imamura's magnum opus depicts the members of an extended farming family eking out their existence in the mountainous north of Japan against the backdrop of the changing seasons, etc., etc. It's based on an ancient folktale. Zigen is from 1987, takes a satirical look at Japan's pre-war colonial expansion through the unscrupulous eyes of its flesh peddler anti-hero,
Fishmonger.
Yes. As he establishes a prostitution enterprise across Southeast Asia. Finally, the harrowing Black Rain, 1989, details the precarious existence of a household of atomic bomb survivors as 5 years after being caught in the blast of Hiroshima, they struggle to find a husband for the 25-year-old niece. I have heard of Imamura as a director. I cannot recall offhand if I've seen his work, but I know I've heard of The Ballad of Narayama. I believe this particular film, I want to say it was an Oscar nominee for foreign language film. I could be wrong, but I think so. I am very, very curious about this set. I'd like to get more stuff. I'm constantly trying to teach myself more on Japanese cinema. Arrow is a dicey proposition because it's a UK distributor and a lot of their stuff will not play here. And this one's coded Region B, so it probably won't play here. But if you have an all-region player, then it's definitely worth snapping up. Not having an all-region player myself, I cannot put this above Curious for the time being. But I will definitely give it that.
See, a lot of their stuff, again, it's kind of a crapshoot, but a lot of their stuff says Region B and actually plays in all players.
I wouldn't say a lot. And tune into our other video this week. But definitely some of it does.
But you definitely need to... That should be an investment in the future.
It should be, yeah.
Because there's a lot of that stuff that doesn't even come out here.
Yeah. And Arrow does make nice sets. They're nice looking. They usually put good stuff on there. I think this one had some good bonus features. Did it have a listing here?
Let's see. Oh, wait, no.
I don't remember.
Let's see. Audio commentaries, in-depth appreciations, alternate color ending.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to say. I mean, again, it's a kind of a hit or miss. But if you have a region-free player, then it's not a hit or miss then, because it's just guaranteed to work at that point. And if you go 4K, though Arrow doesn't do a lot of 4K, but if you go 4K, it's just 4K is not region locked, period. So, yeah. So I've also rated Curious here because I don't know, it's something. I mean, I'm not a little curious, but I'm there.
Okay.
All right.
My turn again?
Yep.
So next up, we have True Detective, seasons 1 to 3. Season 1, of course, co-starred Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson and got rave reviews. Season 2 had Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn and got, good reviews. And then Season 3 had Mahershala Ali and Stephen Dorff and, good reviews. I want this series. I'm actually still kind of kicking myself for passing up Season 1 at a really good price once. But this would be a good way to get 3 seasons all in one. I apparently am looking at the UK release by accident. I don't know. Where's my proper... You've got it up. Okay.
I had to find it on Best Buy. It's hard to find this version.
Okay. So, for those of you familiar with the series, it's basically an anthology series about detectives, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
And, again, all-star cast. I believe it's an HBO production. I think this is probably a really good way to pick it up, get a multi-season set all in one. I will have this on the list. I'm going to say yes, please.
I'm not a big police procedural type person, or really, I don't really know enough about this other than its reputation. So, let me see here. First off, I gotta find it. There it is.
It's not it, yeah.
So, I'm not sure I can leave it here. I don't... It wouldn't quite be meh. It'd be a little curious for me.
Okay. There you go.
There we go.
I tried.
So, let's see here. Speaking of great films.
Yeah, that one.
Total Recall is getting its 30th anniversary 4K release. The Schwarzenegger one, not the remake.
Right.
I'm not sure I understand the love for this movie. There's some sort of nostalgia thing going on. I mean, it was an okay film. It was an okay sci-fi action film. Mm-hmm. I remember the woman with the 3 boobs and them having the heads explode in space, and that was about it.
Yeah, I have a very negative memory of the head exploding in space.
I mean, like I said, I don't hate this. Like I said, it's reasonably liked. I think it's one that I'm glad that I have in my collection. But is it one I would upgrade? Probably not. It's one I would probably put as a yes, please, because I consider it essential Schwarzenegger. But very low yes, please.
I have seen the film. I was not blown away by it. I also do think it's heavily overrated. I know we're probably going to get some hate from the Total Recall crowd for this. But and like I said, the head exploding scene did not appeal to me at all. That said, I do acknowledge that this was a big film for Schwarzenegger, and it's a big film for sci-fi in general. I'm tempted to say curious, just because I didn't like it all that much, but I can't discount that it's an important film, so I guess yes, please, because I'll eventually have to have it. I don't know that I care to see 4K, though. I'd be fine with Blu-ray.
So it's a kind of a low yes, please on that.
Very low. It's like just there.
Just barely edged over the finish line. It was. Its lungs were aching for air.
Yeah. Now we move on to something that deserves high consideration. This was actually a film that I was very interested in when it came out, and I actually streamed it when it came out which tells you something because I don't stream anything. And that is the film when supernatural battles became commonplace. And so when the origin of the Senko High School Literature Club's powers might be a little sketchy, and they may spend more time chatting than engaging in superhuman feats. Still, there's no questioning the incredible abilities of the club's female members. Tomoyo can control time. Hachiko is a mistress of the elements. Chihuyo can create matter. And Sayumi can return any item to a previous state. Meanwhile, Jirai, the club's only male member, has dark on dark. It's a black flame that does nothing. It's just there. Basically, this is a film where a chunibyo, if you're not familiar with chunibyo or what they call 8-year-old syndrome, we've kind of touched on it here.
Yeah.
Basically, people who have very, 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 very active fantasies. One of the girls is the redhead. I can't remember which one she is a recovering chunibyo. But he is a full-blown chunibyo. One day, his fantasies come to life. He has this cool-looking ability, but it's worthless. But all the girls around him are now superpowered. And they go, it's a slice of life series. It's a high school slice of life series where these superpowers are used for jokes rather than battle, really. Even though there is a subplot about, it's more of an afterthought than a major plot, if that makes sense. Now, this is another one that Sentai is re-releasing for the first time with an English dub, which is nice. What's not so nice is their insistence on artwork that very much appeals to niche otaku instead of the much more wholesome cover of the original version. I really wish they would stop doing that because it doesn't help with building the fan base for these series. But this one is actually a really fun series that I think could work for a pretty broad audience, although otaku would get more out of it overall. But I loved it, and I would definitely, if I did not, actually, I can't remember. I don't think I pre-ordered this one. I wanted to, but I don't think I did. I think I waited for the price to come down. So I guess by your definition, I can't call it a priority, but it's a very high yes, please.
I don't know yet because I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if I could give it a priority, but I know you love it so much, so maybe that's where I would have it as a priority. I own it, so...
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
right.
But I picked it up when it was on DVD dirt cheap, so I'm not sure that counts as me going, yeah, I really wanted this. It was more, I heard Jacob really liked this.
This one I did. This is a good example of the difference in us and priority. I earmarked it for purchase the moment I learned it was coming out. And it was a late release. Like when I did my description of the shows I streamed that season, it was one of 2 titles that had not been licensed when I did that review. But they picked it up 2 or 3 months later, I think it was, and watched it. And I think I finally got it when the price dropped briefly to like 14 or so. I don't remember exactly, but it was in that ballpark. So I waited until it was what I would consider a reasonable price rather than the usual full price. But I was watching for a deal. It wasn't just a happenstance.
The question then would be, if you thought it was going to go out of print, would you have picked it up at the original price? Or would you have said no?
If I learned it was going out of print, I snapped it up. Yeah.
Then I'll let you say it as a priority. I'm still not going to mark it as priority because I can't put it as priority for me.
Okay. So my next one then is not a priority for me because I have not pre-ordered it, but I am very intrigued by this show, and that is Yellowstone, which I think we talked about. Didn't season 2 come out very recently? So I think we've already talked about it. But basically, Taylor Sheridan, showrunner, Kevin Costner's the star. It's basically a modern Western from the guy behind the trilogy that included Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River. And given that pedigree, I want to see this show. But I don't know how quickly I'll be picking it up. I'll still call it yes, please.
I don't know enough to give it a yes, please, for me. Again, Western doesn't necessarily sell it for me.
Right.
I like Kevin Costner. He made the Hetfield/McCoy one do pretty well.
Oh, that was a good one.
But I don't know. I'd have to see more of it. High Curious, which is something for me. I'm not sure, though, even then, because it's a lot of investment. That's the problem with a lot of these, is a ton of investment.
I am currently, with this series, kind of holding action in the hopes that they'll end the series and do a complete collection.
Yeah.
But you never know.
High level of investment.
Yes, indeed. Not as much as Bleach.
That is an even higher level of investment. But I got involved with that at the ground floor, so if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't even have bothered with it.
Yeah.
So this is one I kind of also put in. I've seen it. It's been a long time. I still have my copy of Versus plus Ultimate Versus. I may look into upgrading because it's a separate cut. So you got 2 cuts, and you can also get this in another format of just basically the alternate cut. That's a lot of
bonus stuff.
And Arrow's releasing this. I am curious. See, now when they say the format, they're saying like this not region specific format. But I don't know. It's a very balls to the wall Japanese action film. It's one that was really highly praised at the time. So
now, one reason this did not make my list is that Arrow's description made it sound like it was excessively bloody.
Yeah, it's very bloody.
Yeah.
Very, very bloody, but very, very high rated at the same time. For me, it would probably be in the yes, please. I even consider it. But just because out of those Japanese action films, it would be up in that area.
Well, given that it's a highly rated Japanese film and that it's an Arrow release, I can't say hell no out of the gate. But based on what I read about it and what you just said, it sounds like I would have trouble watching it. So I'm going to go meh.
All right, so down to curious. All right. So
sounds good.
Back to you you get to do both Criterions.
We got 2 Criterion releases this week. The first is Mouchette, 1967. Robert Bresson plums great reservoirs of feeling with Mouchette. One of the most searing portraits of human desperation ever put on film. Doesn't that sound fun? With a dying mother, an absent alcoholic father, and a baby brother in need of care, the teenage Mouchette seeks solace and respite from her circumstances in the nature of the French countryside and daily routine. So this is French Minimalism from 1967. Luckily, it's not a long movie, and this is one that I knew by name and somewhat by reputation. I'm a little bit surprised if Criterion is just now releasing it, because it seems like it would be right in their wheelhouse. It does have a few special features, not as much as I'd like, but not terrible. So it's definitely one that will be on the radar. I will keep an eye out, maybe pick it up next July, maybe next November. It may not be 2 or 3 years, but it will be gotten eventually. So that will be a yes, please.
To me, it's a little curious. I don't actually, you know what? No, it would be a meh. The way you made it sounds like I would never even want to be close to that movie. So it'll still go down to curious, but yeah, that'd be a meh on my end. It's like, no.
Okay.
Much like bloody movies do that for you, potentially boring and depressing movies do that to me. So,
Q.J. Sherman.
so yeah.
That's the perfect example. Oh, I like French shoes. So next up we have
Completely different.
yes, now for something completely different. Symbiocytotoxoplasm. Say that 3 times fast. 2 takes by William Greaves. In his one-of-a-kind fiction documentary hybrid, Symbiocytotoxoplasm, Take 1, the pioneering William Greaves presides over a beleaguered film crew in New York's Central Park, leaving them to try to figure out what kind of movie they're making. A couple enacts a breakup scenario over and over. The documentary crew films a crew filming the crew. Locals wander casually into the frame. The project defies easy description, etc., etc. And then you have the Take 2.5, that's a quote-unquote sequel, and reunited in a more personal meta-theatrical exploration of the effects of the passage of time on technology, the artistic process, and relationships, real and fabricated. And let's see, what were the release dates? 1968 and 2005. Well, that's a pretty broad jump between those two.
Especially between takes.
Yeah. And it's got a minimal number of special features, although there is a documentary on there and an interview with Steve Buscemi. I guess he might be in 2.5. I am fascinated by the title of this film, and it looks like it might be interesting overall. It looks like it might be artsy as hell. Well, 2 films, rather.
Yeah.
Looks like they might be artsy as hell. Nonetheless, I will definitely give this a yes, please. It is a Criterion title that has my interest.
Well, as you already know, I've managed to get this one apparently before the release because I own it and I have it. Just the name intrigues me, and I'll admit it's kind of artsy thing that just kind of. There are some artistic takes that do draw me in, like say Boyhood, or there's a film by for Anhedenia Studios called Watching a Movie. These are things that are just that concept pulls me in. The execution could leave me wanting, but since I did buy it pretty much right away, I guess I'll go with yes, please. And leave you with that one.
All right, uno más.
Now this is one that's a big one, and this is only one of the 2 versions releasing. Jacob covered the movie, but the series, Violet Evergarden, is releasing. This is the limited edition. It is available for pre-order depending on where you get it from, but not on Amazon and not here.
And not on Funimation either.
But Best Buy still had it up last time I checked, but that was a week ago, so
they're probably out, but I'll check real quick. Let's see. There are, as you said, a handful of sources. I am cautiously optimistic. But yeah, Best Buy still has it listed.
Oh, that's a positive, and they usually aren't known for overselling, at least not yet.
$80 is the listed price.
So that probably is why, but
yeah,
I ended up switching my pre-order to them because I had a $20 gift card, which kind of threw it back down to around the same price other people were selling it for. But it's worth getting. I mean, unfortunately, the studio ended up getting set on fire. This is like one of their last major projects. And the movie, I think, came after, so it's kind of interesting that the movie's releasing prior. But Violet Evergarden was raised to be a weapon for war that was ended. Now she's learning how to heal her mind and body. Working as an auto-memory doll, she writes people's thoughts and feelings into letters, and in doing so, learns about her own feelings. It's all 13 episodes, and you have a space for the movie.
Good.
As well as some art cards. So there is a actual. Of course, you can get the. There's the movie right down here.
Yeah.
But you can also get the regular release on that week. Mm-hmm. It looks very similar to how the movie release looks as far as artwork and stuff like that. But I wanted to show this off for those that do manage to try and catch it. Best Buy, I think, is still offering. I had a pre-order with Amazon, but I don't trust them. So, you know, and I was able to take $10 off of that price. So, hey. Because just of the definition of it, I had to put it as a priority because it was a must to get.
This thing, when you get something that sells out before it's even released, especially when it's something that's so highly acclaimed and I really, 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 really want to see, that would be called a priority. I am cautiously optimistic that I will have this. It is pre-ordered through eBay.
Oh.
So, not through eBay itself, through one of the vendors on eBay. I don't know what their source is.
So we're both kind of cautiously optimistic.
Yes, cautiously optimistic. So we will see. I was unaware of Best Buy when I decided to turn to eBay and ended up finding someone who was still offering it at a, you could call it a reasonable price. I think I'm probably going to end up spending a little tad bit more than I would have from Best. No, actually, I said 80 from Best Buy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get cheaper. Yay!
The usual price it's going for is like 70, but
well, the 65 I think was what you saw on Right Stuff.
Yeah.
I think Funimation was offering a pre-order in the 75 range, and then Amazon I think was running it around 70 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's sold. I was not expecting it to sell out that quickly.
No, I mean, and this is where I get with when it comes to priority, where you look at it and you tell yourself if you feel like it is going to sell out, that you're willing to do that high price point. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily that you are going to do the high price point, but that you would pay it if you had to get it. Which is where the difference is. Because if you were willing to say, you know what, like let's say use when supernatural battles become commonplace. If you were to say, I don't care if it, I mean, I would really want this, but I will never buy it at this price point. It has to go on sale. Then it's not a priority at that point. How can it possibly be a priority if you're like, I'll never get it at this price point, you know?
There was one that during that season that I had reviewed that I did pre-order, and that was Shirobako. That was an extreme rarity for me to pre-order a Sentai release.
So maybe working it in the mind as in, is it something that you would be willing to pay that release price for, knowing now, it would go out of print?
The one that I reviewed that season that still doesn't have an American license. If someone releases, I can't understand what my husband is saying, I will probably pre-order it just to give them a thumbs up of good job. It's about freaking time.
Yeah. And a pre-order is a good... And if you are pre-ordering it, one advantage of a pre-order is it does tell people that there is an interest in it.
Yeah.
So it does help keep them in print. I have a feeling that Violet Evergarden is going to maintain print because of that. Maybe not this, but the rest of it, you know.
The regular edition, Funimation is probably going to be working to get that one at least for a little while.
So going down here, you can see the various ones that we did not cover this time. We're giving our salute to you all.
I did want to make note that there's a lot of Jack Lemmon stuff coming out this week. I really thought about talking about some of them. I am a Jack Lemmon fan, but I don't particularly know any of these movies, and I was kind of like.
And there is a lot of stuff here. I mean, there's some sports stuff here too. If you like the World Championship for.
You got a Liam Neeson movie. You've got a movie from Bret Easton Ellis, which for you American Psycho fans, that might be kind of fun. There are a few things.
So, some interesting stuff. But as far as what we feel like really caught our interest, this is how it plays out. So no Hell No's. Which we're probably not likely to in this format unless we get to that point. And it might be one where we look at a movie and we detest it so much, like, okay, I need to tell you how much I don't like it. Like if American Beauty was to get it, I still couldn't put it as Hell No. Darn it.
It wouldn't get a Hell No because I wouldn't rate it there. But let's say Arrow or Kino Lorber or for whatever reason Criterion or whatever comes out with a 12-disc hardback cover book edition of the 50 Shades trilogy or something.
Shoot, here's one for you. Arrow does a re-release of Artifacts. That's one I think we could finally both agree on.
Even though, really, in the end, we like to rag on Artifacts, but it's more like a super aggressive meh. It was just such a boring movie.
Very boring film.
Anyway.
Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this. Of course, if you did, click that like button, hit that subscribe, comment, let us know what you think of this format as we keep going forward. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right.